So you need a dissolved solids meter, a TDS meter, and you need a pH meter. And you need to know how to calibrate your pH meter so you're getting accurate numbers. But once you've adjusted the soil to a pH of 6.8, then you feed it and you put it aside. And when you are done, the pH of that soil will be about 6.5, which is perfect. It's in the perfect range. And so I leach the very first week of flowering. Now, the very first week of flowering is also known as elongation, because the plants are naturally going to elongate. And when they hit elongation and you have done a leaching, your plants are going to noticeably grow every 24 hours that you walk in there. They get huge very quickly. That's really one of the biggest modifications that I've made to growing, and I did it 20 years ago, and I've gotten fantastic results ever since. And
why do you think there is some pushback on that? You mentioned a couple times that people think would laugh at you.
Yeah, because I don't know that anybody has actually ever come up with the idea of the clean slate. I think that people want to start with something they can finish with. Leaching, if anybody even does it anymore, because it used to be done towards the end of a grow in order to leach out excess fertilizer that was supposed to give it a better flavor. Okay? That's not when you're supposed to leach. Mm-hmm. Don't leach week 7 or 8. Leach week 1. Start with a clean slate. And then every time the plants are fed after that, it is a 10-to-8 ratio of Dynagrow to pH up. And I typically water every second or third day with 50 ounces, a little bit less than half a gallon. But once the plants fully root, you're going to need to go to a gallon. Otherwise, you're going to be watering them every day. And once I go to a gallon, then I can typically go 3 to 4 days between waterings.
Got it. Cool. Go ahead and tell us about your new grow.
Well, the newest crop is the 31st sequential cloning of Flying Dutchman 3. Flying Dutchman 3 being the strain that I've been growing for the last 8 years. And I don't have a mother plant, don't have room here to have a mother plant. So what I do is I cut my clones from the preceding crop. And this is the 31st sequential cloning. And in the nursery right now is the 32nd sequential cloning. And to all those people who use the term clone fade, it's a myth. It's a myth.
How so?
Those plants are no different than the first, second, third generations of sequential clones. Their lab tests always come back consistent. It just is what it is. It's got an 8-year track record with an average THC content of 29.2%. Its highest reading was probably about 2 years ago when we had 32.56% THC. And so it's consistently potent.
So just the environment that you create could change the grow, opposed to from the...
Well, no, there's this myth that if you take a clone of a clone of a clone of a clone, yeah, at some point you're going to cause a genetic problem at which the plant is going to be weak or not produce or whatever. And that's what they call clone fade.
Okay, got it.
The thing is that when you're on your 32nd sequential cloning, you begin to realize that that's just a myth. That's just a myth. I'm going to be sending this stuff out for testing. I would not be surprised if it's over 30%. And so yes, these plants, I believe, are on day 48, 49, something like that. I take them out 63 days. I take them out 9 weeks. No, they're actually done at week 8. I take week 9 because I want to just take my time in getting everything harvested the way I want it harvested, everything cleaned and dried. And but that gives me a 3-week veg cycle. It gives me a 9-week flowering cycle, and it gives me 1 week to get things cleaned up and turned around and get the next crop in there. That's 13 weeks. That's exactly 4 crops a year. So using the nursery and overlapping it with the main grow room, yeah, I can bring down 4 crops a year, and we average 2.5 to 3 pounds. It depends on whether I want to put the 4th row in or not. Right now I'm not growing with the 4th row because, well, I just had back surgery and just had problems with my heart and decided not to grow the maximum. Mm-hmm. So we cut it back to 18, and we'll probably get 2.5 pounds.
Nice. And what's the next step from here as far as for this crop?
Well, it's going to be harvested, it's going to be dried, and it's going to be sold. And then it's going to be sold. Now, we have patients. When a patient is in hospice, they get it for free. I have patients who also have serious medical illnesses. They get it at a discount. Those are my 2 classifications of patients. The ones who are not going to be with us long and the ones who have chronic problems, but they're serious. Everybody else I consider a patron. And patrons pay full price in order to subsidize the people who are getting it for free and the people who are getting it at a discount. So yes, I do have a pricing tiered structure based upon, I want some weed to go to a Grateful Dead concert versus I'm in a hospice and I'm going to die. And so there's roughly 3 categories, and that's how I do it.
Nice. Cool. That's great. We're excited to do this. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me at edwardschlosser@yahoo.com. edwardschlosser@yahoo.com.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Sure. Have a good one. Peace.